Greetings, Earthlings! Today is January 16th, 2013, and this is the KNKL Emma stream. Day 27? Is that what we're on? I really hope so. We're going to go ahead and check that really quick. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are all having a great Wednesday, as I am. I went out today and I bought some groceries, peanut butter, and tortillas. I know they don't go together, but I like to have bananas with peanut butter, and I like to enjoy whole wheat tortillas with beans and cheese. The softness and the sweetness of the tortilla complements the cheese and the beans. And yes, today is day 27 of the KNKL Emma stream, where we gather in our nice little warm dojo now, because we are back in the house, back in his house, back in the office, where we have central air, and that is a very good thing. Let's go ahead and head on over to the Facebook, see if we got anything new. Anything new? Let's go ahead and head over here. Anything? I'm so unprepared today because I just finished eating some amazing vanilla bean ice cream, and it was really good. But unfortunately... Oh, what is this? What is this? Holy moly, this is so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta show this to Jake. That is so cute. Alexandre, thank you, my friend. Thank you for your awesome fan art. That's so cute. It looks like something straight out of like a little kid's book. Oh man, people are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that looks like that's the only newest thing since all the awesomeness that came in from... Actually, I don't even know if I showed this. I need to show this really quickly, because this went into the I support Emma thing for the Scion video, which is also going very well. Hopefully we'll be getting that finished up here very soon. But yeah, we got a bunch of new art in from those people. So thank you guys once again for submitting your awesome fan art. Let's go ahead and open up the stream. This will never happen again. You can't just show up to a stream and not be prepared. That is not professional. That is not professional at all. But Murphy's Law says anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So it's probably best that we get our crap together. Okay? Alright. As I watch myself. Okay, so we don't need to see this. Get that out of here. We got this here. Lushie's saying, good day. Good day, mate. Hello there. Alright, guys, so we're going to be jumping right back into where we left off was it Monday? Yeah, where we left off on Monday before the tutorial. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that yesterday. That was a lot of fun and actually quite challenging to like create the human body in like such crazy perspective and showing motion lines and all that stuff. Kind of like motivated me to kind of do a little bit more practice. And yeah, it just showed me that, really you're always constantly learning. It's like I did all these really like in-depth things for Riot, right? The big old splash advertisement arts, and those look like a big deal, right? But they're actually just little bits of work that you're just like constantly like whittling away at, right? You got this big old chunk of marble and you're just carving at it all day. So at the end, it looks like a bunch of work, but really, like, it's all dependent on that foundation, right? That skeleton underneath. So that's really where I think probably about 90% of being an artist is knowing how to lay that foundation. The other 10% is literally just learning all the pretty effects that go over top of it. But 90% is knowing your foundation, your line work, your anatomy, and all that stuff, proportions. And like I said, even that I am still learning. So I hope that you guys, and I'm not saying that to like scare you guys, be like, oh, well, you're constantly going to be learning and you're never going to get to the point where you're satisfied. No, that's not the case at all. You should accept art for what it is, and it really is a lifestyle, and it's always something that you can improve at. You'll never be perfect, right? But you can get really, really, really good, right? Everybody can get really, really, really good. So, let's go ahead and jump back into where we left off. I think we were just going ahead and throwing in some of this ambient gray onto the skin areas. And we're just going to go right back into that. By the way, I apologize in advance if my throat is a bit crackly, because when I eat ice cream, it tends to make my throat a little bit like, like phlegmy, after you eat like a big old milkshake or just anything with like dairy products. It tends to make my throat a little bit nasty. So I usually try to avoid those. But that's okay. We are jumping right back into this. And then once we're done with this, I think we might actually finish this up here very soon. And then after that, what are we going to do? Are we going to write the bio for Emma? Maybe we should. Maybe you guys can help me with that. But I don't want to promise you things that may not come to pass. Let's go ahead and just take it one step at a time. We'll see where this goes. Okay? So, let's go ahead and light the axe. Light the axe. Ah, man. You guys and your fan art just blowing my mind. Why is this not working? It's also blowing my mind. There we go. Okay, so we got light coming from this direction. And I want the light to not be hitting the axe blade, just to show the depth that it's closer to us, right? So let's go ahead and desaturate and bring this shadow a little bit more into like the purples. Desaturate and push that into the purple. Aha! See what that's doing? Just giving us much awesomeness. And then what's cool is this red right here is actually going to reflect a little bit onto the axe and cause it to do one of these things. Ah, you see that? Cool, huh? Everything affects everything. Much like if you were doing meditation, you would find that your energy is a part of everything else's energy. Such is the way with light and art and scratching your nose. Ah, that's a good scratch. Although I do want just a little bit of light down hither. Little bit of light there. Ooh! Ooh, that looks good. That looks good, but what's happening here? What's that? I think that's a remnant that should have been taken care of by the dress. Let's go ahead and get in there and fix that. There we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to the axe blade. Good. I can notice there's a couple things in there, and the skin as well. Little itty bitty bits that need to be fixed. Going back to the axe blade. Let's go ahead and get out our soft thingy. And let's go ahead and put some light on the axe blade. So this upper part is going to have more light on it. This part is going to be a little bit more like ambient light, not quite that vibrant, more like that. Okay, that's good. And then from the underside, we're going to get some, some ambient light going up like that. See what's happening, guys? We're allowing the environment to shape our forms. That's supposed to come out a lot smoother. We're allowing the environment to shape our forms naturally and organically. And that makes a man happy. Oh, so happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Good. Put a little shine on there. Little spit shine. Little spit shine on there. Cool. There we go. Now it looks nice and sharp and shiny, right? Because I was telling you guys about how the transition of your gradients and the sharpness of the differences in colors, generally speaking, will tell you what material you're working with, right? It'll tell you what type of material it is. Like if it's shiny like that, it's gonna be like, oh, that's probably like sharpened metal. And then if it's not as shiny here, it's probably like, oh, that's probably like it's still the same material, it's metal, but it's probably more dinged up and it has a little bit more of like a matte finish on it, or it just has like a bunch of nicks in it, so it's going to transfer the light in a much smoother fashion. Pretty sure that makes sense. Transfers the light in a smoother fashion. Alright, that's good. Let's go ahead and finish this up. I'm gonna put a little bit more light on here. What are you guys thinking about that over here? What are you guys thinking over here? Art bender. I am an art bender. A digital art bender. That's what we all are. We are all a collective of digital art benders. Well, for those of you who are watching who are actually artists and not just readers of the comic. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with readers tuning in to just watch me draw stuff. That's cool. I always like it when I get to watch some of my favorite artists work on their stuff. So I hope that you can enjoy and get some enjoyment out of watching these things. But even if you didn't, I'd keep doing it. Because my mentality with starting the KNKL show was, I just need 2 people. 2 people that come and watch this show every day and really, really enjoy it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And since then, I've gotten way more than 2 people. And since then, I've also realized that now I can basically never stop. But that's a good thing. It's a good thing. I like that feeling. Okay, so another thing I'm going to do here is, remember how we were talking about like the spotlighting that's happening here? I think a little bit would actually be hitting this hand here. So let's go ahead and throw in some of that. Let's take this orange color, remember, that's simulating our subsurface scattering going on there. Let's put it right there. Now let's take our bright color, throw it right down on top of that. So it shows that light is hitting there. And then scattering throughout the hand. Lovely. That looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to take this color. I'm going to put some bright, I'm going to put it like a bright highlight on that. See what that does on that axe blade, and then I'm going to reflect it underneath her arm. Just to see what it'll do. Cool. Let's try a little bit of... Oh! I probably should have, like, looking back on this, I probably should have separated these body parts. That would have been, but that would have been the smart thing to do. And that's not always the way that I like to work. Sometimes I like to do things the hard way. Okay, that's a little much. It's good, but it's a little much. And we missed a little spot there. Okay, let's try again. Dang it. Missed the spot there too. Okay. One more time. How does that look? Still a bit much. I like what it's doing, but it just needs to be like right there. That's it. Look at that. See that little subtlety we added? It also helps pop that arm off. Like if you squint your eyes, that arm is clearly existing in front of that other leg, which is good. It's helping our silhouettes and it's helping our reads. That is a very, very good thing. Let's go ahead and go to the boots, because the boots are looking a little bit saturated to me. I kind of want to desaturate them. You darken them. Yeah, there we go. play around with the hues a little bit. I think that's a little better. I think that is much better. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the eyes now. The eyes basically incorporates anything that is of the mouth, like that's open. I'll draw like the tongue and like the inside of the mouth there. The eyes, and then also the little bobby pin or the clip up top. Oh, you know something I just realized? She can't be facing this way at the end because her hair goes this way, right? And we can't flip-flop that, otherwise it's going to be weird. So, that just took care of that for us. We got to make sure that at the end of everything, we got to make sure that the picture is facing this way for continuity and consistency. Put a little bit of blue on there. That's nice. And let's go ahead and go to the eyes. Let's throw in a little bit of a shadow. This is a very anime thing to do, where you go like this. You know, you kind of put like a shadow there. But I like that. Or maybe not quite as blue as that. Are these two different colors? Well, they are. Hmm. Let's go ahead and go like this. Let's try this. Nope. Maybe a little bit more like that. Sometimes they make them hard lines too. So you just got to kind of play around and see what you like. I personally think I'm just going to go with like the softer line because that's pretty much the style. Seems like everything is just gradients, 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 gradients. And it makes for a nice, easy style. Alright, so now we're going to start moving on into kind of the finishing touches, right? We're going to just kind of finish this baby up. And then we'll move into something completely different. Why is that not working? Why would it do that? There we go. Oh man. Speaking of, I keep thinking about that buttons artwork. It's so awesome. I cannot wait to show you guys. Like, seriously, I cannot wait until we get started on issue 2 because we got a bunch of new characters to introduce and things are going to start getting really, really cool. So, oh, so excited. You guys are going to love it. If you guys liked issue 1, then issue 2 is going to be even better. As it should be, right? I know everybody says that, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. But really, like, issue 2 is going to be really, really good. And I can't wait. Can't wait for you guys to see it! See it! Yes. Alright. Alright. Let's go ahead and fix the skin a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to put a little bit more light coming from down here. No. No. A little bit more blush on the cheek for sure. Yay! Blushy cheeks. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's go ahead and put in a little bit more darkness for where the hair goes over as well. A little bit more. I say that all the time. I'm not going to say it again. You know what I'm talking about. I'll spare you guys from that for once. It's an old joke. Gotta stop saying. Gotta get some new jokes up in here. New jokes up in here. Gotta start coming up with our own Emma jokes, right? Because can't keep using the same old lol jokes. Lol jokes, although awesome, not original. Put a little bit more shadow down here, like on her legs. Down here. A little bit more red. Oh! There we go. Alright. So that's looking pretty dang good. Not bad if I do say so myself. Alright, so what are you guys saying over here? What are you guys saying over here? Aaron Pinel's asking, where are some good places to find some good texture brushes? Much like the ones that you downloaded off my DeviantArt account, knockhorse.deviantart.com, you can search all kinds of texture brushes on DeviantArt, and there's plenty of people willing to give their stuff away, or you buy it or something, or just like if you use them, make sure you mention their name. You know, so there's tons of places on DeviantArt. But other than that, I was never really a big fan of texture brushes until recently after working at Riot, and then my coworkers showed me some of the amazingness that you can accomplish with some of these texture brushes. So I don't have a lot of experience with that, unfortunately. While I am rambling, I'm going to go ahead and do one of the final touches, and that is Emma's eyes. Emma has very, very special eyes. Gotta make sure. This is something that basically will tell you immediately if the artwork is forged or not. Because Emma's eyes are not black. Emma's eyes are very, very, very dark red. Very, very, very dark red. And that is what that is what sets her apart from all of her little anime girl wannabes. Alright, so there you go. She doesn't have red eyes. Take it back. Take it back because it ain't real. Okay, so now I need to get this person's name right. It's Tlakwachi. 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 He's asking, when you finish the comic, are you going to be printing it and selling it? Planning to print some and sell them, yes. Mr. Tlakwachi. Yes, I am planning to make actual prints of this comic because that's what every comic aspires to be, an actual printed version. However, because I am just a one-man army at this point, I find it much easier, especially since I'm working with an international audience, to have people start off buying very, very inexpensive digital copies. And then from that point, once I get enough capital or like money coming in to actually begin building the business to the point where I can sell actual physical copies outside of, you know, people coming to see me at conventions, that'll be a really nice day. But for the beginning, it costs a lot of money to get stuff printed unless I go through a publisher, but I'm not quite sure I want to do that yet. I'm not quite sure that's something that I really want to do right now because I don't know exactly how much of the, you know, if I go to a publisher, how much of my thing they own. And, you know, like if someone came up to me and offered me like $1 million for my comic, it would actually be pretty tough to like actually sell it. I mean, obviously I probably would, but I met a guy that sold his comic idea for $40,000, right? And you hear that and you're like, whoa, $40,000, that's pretty good. If somebody walked up to me and offered me $40,000, I'd be like, hey, let's talk business, right? That's kind of your natural reaction. But he told me later on, he's like, yeah, they bought it from me, and you know, at first I was excited and really happy, but you know, that was a really good idea that I had, and I haven't had a good one since then, or I haven't had, you know, the same quality of an idea since then. And they went on to make millions off of my idea, and I really ended up regretting it. And so that really kind of opened up some, I don't know, just I'm happy that he was as truthful as he was about his decision. And that really got me thinking. I was like, wow, you know, maybe there's something to hanging on to your idea in the beginning, because ideas is where everything starts. And a lot of people try to sell you on the fact like, hey, you got ideas, submit them to us and we'll give you, you know, some money for them, right? But really, it's like ideas are the jewels. They're the diamonds in the rough. They're not only the diamonds, they're the diamond mines, right? And so you just go, it's like you're selling a map to a diamond mine, right? That you have found out yourself, that you created yourself. And then someone comes and buys that off of you for what you think is a good deal. But really, in the long run, those people will make so much money off of that map to the diamond mine. And then you just get to sit back and you watch them basically make money off of what you created. And I don't know if that's something that I really would like to do. Especially Emma. Look how cute she is. You couldn't sell that. I couldn't sell you. Not for less than $1,000,000. So, but don't worry. I don't think I'm going to be getting an offer like that anytime soon. And here's the thing. Here's also the other thing. If someone's willing to offer you that much money for something, it's like, well, hey, there's a lot of perceived value in this. Maybe there's, someone's willing to buy it off of me for that. Obviously, there's something here. There's something to this that maybe I'm not seeing. Maybe I need to hang on to this even longer. Maybe I could find out something, or maybe I can find out what they're after. It's hard to explain, but it's like, why would somebody want to buy something off of you for millions of dollars, right? If all it is just a comic or an idea or a story, you know? There's something to that I believe that if there's that much perceived value in it, you definitely need to hold on to it. Definitely. Definitely. Not to mention, the reason I'm doing this it isn't even necessarily to make money. It's like, hey, the money's cool, but money's going to keep me going. Money's just going to keep me going so I can keep doing this, right? Really, my goal is just to tell my story. That was really what it was. It's like, hey, I got a story I want to tell. It's about this cute little girl, and it's about some zombies, right? And that was basically it. So as long as I get to do that, and in fact, since I finished issue 1, I said to myself, I was like, man, I could die tomorrow, and I would be a happy man. I mean, yeah, I didn't get to travel the world, I didn't get to do this and that, but I like reached a huge milestone in my life, and that was just telling my story, or at least starting it, and that's like a really, really cool feeling. It's a really, really cool feeling. And then I thought about it. I was like, what if I never would have done this? What if I never would have said, you know what? I love my job. I love doing this thing, working in video games and all this stuff. But you know what? I got this feeling I need to create something. I got this feeling from within, like my soul is telling me. It's like, you need to create something. You need to tell this story. And I think to myself, what would have happened if I would have never done that? And it's a little scary. I mean, now that I've done it, I look back and I'm like, man, it's like this is obviously the best thing that I could have done. This was the right decision. And I'm super happy about it. And I'm not making any money yet. It's not about the money. It's about telling the story. And that's what I'm doing. I'm feeling great. Feeling oh so magical. And quite, what's the word? Quite distinguished. Feeling quite distinguished and happy. Okay, so one more thing I want to do here is let's pay attention to our navigator up here. Look, oh, I'm actually covering it. Pay attention to our navigator right there. And take a look at the smaller picture, right? You're looking at the big picture all the time. Now take a look at the small picture. Is everything that you want to be noticed able to be picked out in that picture? For me, almost. You can see Emma, obviously. You can see the character, but the axe is not coming through as clearly as I want it to. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is the axe is utilizing a bunch of dark colors, right? And then you've got her skirt or her dress right behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a little bit more of this gray into her dress to pop out the axe blade. And it will still, to our eyes, it will not bother us because we look around and we see, oh, there's ambient gray light. So that doesn't bother me that this grayness is just like going in there, right? And it looks natural. It looks natural and it looks good. Cool. So now we can look at that and be like, okay. I love it when I combine my words like that. Combining words saves time. Right? That's what my mind is thinking. Be like, we can save time by combining these words. So let's do that. Cool. Now look at that. Okay. Now we're on to something. make this a little bit brighter. And then let's go ahead and push the axe blade and everything a little bit darker. Let's go ahead and pick a nice dark red. Let's go ahead and throw that over top of that. Whoops. Got a little bit crazy there. Throw a little bit of that on top of that. And let's go to the handle and also darken that. Now we should have, now it should be much clearer what it is. It's not bad. Could be a little better. Let's go back to where we were. Actually, you know what? I'm looking up at the navigator, trying to figure out which one I actually want to do. And you see the slight differences that we're doing here? We're playing around with atmosphere, and we're playing around with our compositions to make sure that our shapes are reading clearly. And I think I do like this one better. But I want the shadow on this one to be a little bit more like blue, like desaturated purpley. That way it doesn't look like the same color as that. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and do that. Desaturate, push towards purple. And there you have it. And we'll finish off by putting our highlight back in there. Okay? And then what time we got? 7:30. Okay, so we got plenty of time. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into, we're going to lay out the actual page that is going to be appearing on the website. Okay? Laying out the actual page that will be appearing on the website. Because it is always good to have a plan for what you want. And kind of playing around with layouts will help you to achieve that. Cool. Looks good. Looks really good. One more thing on the handle. One more little itty bitty thing on the handle. Alright guys. Now let us go ahead. Let's go ahead and begin laying this puppy out. Captain Big Butt is asking, do you have a planned price for your digital copies already? Yes, Captain Big Butt, I do. However, I don't want to... I have talked about it a few times, but it's going to be very, very inexpensive, and it should be something... And because really what you're getting out of it, for those of you who saw the Scion thing, is you're getting, the comic that you can read for free, but it's going to be in like a nice high res for those of you viewing on your iPads, or even if you buy it on the computer, you can like zoom in, look at details, and have nice high res artwork. But then it's also going to have like extra concept art for all the things like in my sketchbook that I worked on. That's going to be going in there. And it's also going to have a short side story, a short mini comic. That's right, a short mini comic that you can't see anywhere else. But don't worry, it doesn't directly apply to the Emma story, so it's not like, oh yeah, pay money to actually see the full story. It is supplementary and it's fun. And usually it's just kind of like a funny comic having to do with zombies, right? So it's extra content for those of you who choose to support the comic. And it'll be chock full of like inside jokes, so the people who actually buy it will get jokes that we'll be saying later, so but that is still to come. I don't want to talk it up too much before it's actually like out, you know what I mean? So one more thing I want to do here. Let's make sure that this is looking right. But yes, in short, yes, I do have a price plan, and it will be something that everybody can afford. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Okay. Cool. Alright, so the way I'm going to go ahead and do this, the way I want to do this, let's get rid of that. Let's go ahead and combine everything, mush it all into one thing. What do we got here? Okay, we got the old sketch, and we got the, what is this? What is this? Oh, that's the original sketch. So let's take a moment to reflect on everything that we've started with. Remember, this was the original sketch that we've started with, okay? Look at how rough it is. Look at how just like messy. It's messy, it's fun, it's relaxed. Not worrying too much about everything looking perfect, right? You're letting your artistic intuition flow naturally and create a sketch for you. All right? Then we went in and we refined said sketch. And I erased the face because it's something that I do. Like, as I hope that you guys watched a couple days ago, otherwise it's going to look funny. But the way that I do the faces is I'll actually lasso them, duplicate them on top, and then when I make the final lines, I'll actually just erase the sketch lines to make the face. You know what I mean? Instead of just like, okay, here's the sketch face. Okay, I'm going to line it over one more time, because something happens in there where I lose something. I don't know what it is. There's just like a tiny little thing in the expression, or just like the eyebrow being raised a certain amount, that just something changes and I don't like it. I always end up comparing it to the sketch. So that's why I duplicate the face up and erase the old one. So we went from here to here to here. See? So that is how finalized artwork gets created, and it all starts with a simple sketch like this. Okay? Hope this is making sense to you guys, and I hope this really sheds some light onto how art is done. It's really like so much of it. I gotta tell you guys, like this is 90% right here. 90% of what you do is right here. Okay? If you don't have a good skeleton, you don't have a good foundation, I don't care what you do, I don't care what kind of effects you put onto it and how well you render the materials, if the underlying foundation looks like crap, the final piece is going to look weird. It's going to look stiff and people aren't going to be able to relate to it. It's going to look dumb. Okay, so don't do that. Make sure you focus on your gestures and your sketches in the beginning, because and let it flow naturally, right? Let it flow naturally. Learn and trust yourself, because I guarantee you, if you do that, things will look good for you. And like I said, even like I'm not saying like do everything so you can be good like me. I'm saying this is even something that I have to remind myself of, right? It isn't like, oh, I gotta make sure, I do all these effects and, make sure the lighting is all right and all that stuff. It's really like 90% of it is just those basic fundamentals of your sketches and the things in the beginning, the gestures. Gestures. I would say, as an artist, that is easily the most important skill to have. It's getting your gestures and anatomy and proportions and stuff right. But even anatomy, it's like, there's not a lot of anatomy in here. It's all kind of simplified. But knowing your anatomy can help you when it comes time to, like, the anatomy and then you simplify it. Let's say it that way. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how, what's the best way to do this? What is the best way to lay this out? Should I have it cut off like this? No. No. No! How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? Okay, so one thing I could do is I could do one of these things. In fact, maybe I should lay it out like a comic page. I should do that. Let's lay it out like a comic page. One moment, I'm going to create a new document for all of us. Meanwhile, you can stare at my luscious, saturated lips. I don't know why. What is up with that? My freaking webcam. Just like, ugh. This new webcam has been, I mean, it's nice, but there's some things about it that make me miss my old one. But that's okay. We take what we can get. And we learn along the way. So let's go ahead and create our new document. This is 11 by 17 at 300 DPI. Oh wait, one more thing. Gotta save it. Gotta save it and not show you the folder structure, because I might show you some file names that may give away what I'm working on. Yes, Lushy is saying the story of Emma's suit. Yes, this could possibly be one of the side stories, right? It's like, hey, the story of this person, you know, or the story of like something silly, but it doesn't like you have to read these little mini comics and you have to pay money to get the whole story. It's just going to be like, there might be like little jokes later on that might relate to it, or, you know, if you read that, might make it more funny. But again, I want to stress that you will be able to read the entire story of Emma for free. The entire story. So, the story of Buttons. The story of Buttons and the story of Emma's suit. You guys all talking about me being a millionaire? That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty sweet. I would enjoy that. But really, it's like, I don't need to be a millionaire. It's like, I literally sat down and made the calculations of how much money I need to go for from month to month to live in California. It's about $1,500. You know, it's like not that much. It's not that much. $1,500 to $1,600 takes care of my rent, my bills, my food, and all that stuff. You know, so I was like, man, if I could just make a business that makes that to start, I really think I could do that. And then anything after that, like say I'm able to start making double that eventually. $3,200 and a month. That'd be cool. That'd be like, hey, I got this extra money. I can start investing in this. I might be able to start hiring somebody else. Like I might be able to hire somebody out of their job that they hate working at the mall. Like one of my friends. Or, just like somebody to help me. Artists, you out there, I could hire you to work for me. And that would be so cool because that's really what I'm trying to do. Tell a story, and hey, in the meantime, if I can create a business and give people jobs, that'd be really cool. The main priority is always going to be telling the story. Always going to be telling the story. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this. What the heck happened with that? Oh, okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is kind of like, she should be, no, she should be here. Should be kind of crunched down to the side there. Let's go ahead and do this. I mean, I'm not saying aim low. I'm not saying aim low and hit it. I'm just saying it's like, really when you sit down, I mean, starting a business is like this big old like, oh, how do I do that? I don't know anything about creating a website or creating a product and all that stuff. I mean, it's really daunting, but the problem is that a lot of people look at that and then they never start. They never do it. And I was like, oh, once I learn this, and granted there is a lot of knowledge that you have to know about making a business, but you don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You make a ton of mistakes. I'm going to make a ton of mistakes doing this, right? But I'm ready for that. I'm ready and waiting. Okay, that's a little bit dark. A lot of people say you fail your way to success. I really, really do believe that. Just like do it. Just be like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, wow, that was easy. There's a part of you that doesn't want it to be easy. There's a part of you that wants challenge. There's a part of the human spirit, call it whatever you want, that craves this ability to rise above something. And if it's too easy, you don't appreciate it. You like a challenge. I can totally relate with that. Okay, so these lines are not doing it for me. They need to be a little darker, but I don't want to darken it because then it darkens her eyes. Dang it. Okay, that might be better. Okay, that might be better. But I don't know about the comic page layout. I don't know if I'm liking that. Maybe she needs to be up here. What is bothering me about this? Something is bothering me about this. I don't know what it is. Maybe we need like a little gradient, for the background. Let's try that. Let's create a gradient here. Oftentimes gradients can add some nice depth to your picture without you having to work too hard at getting it. I'll show you what I mean as soon as I get rid of this thing. What is this? Get out. Okay, that's seriously freaking me out. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got our gradient color. So let's go ahead and throw that in really quickly. Ah, see? There you go. So we're getting a little bit of depth in there, but I don't like the color. Need a little bit more desaturated. There we go. And then once that's done, we can kind of reposition it. You know, see what I'm doing here? I'm just moving it back and forth to reposition the intensity of the light. That's pretty good. I make the background a little bit lighter too. Yeah. It's not bad. Not bad. And again, we're just playing around with things. This is all compositional stuff. This is all just kind of like, hey, how can we use this art? How can we create a layout that will look cool? Something about this though I'm kind of liking more though, because she's bigger on the page, right? It's like you could have the text up here in white if you wanted. You could have the text up here in white, and it's really, really small. Why is the text so small? There we go. Emma. Let's go to unmasked. Unmasked is the font of the comic, supplied to you generously by Blambot Studios. Really, really nice guys. So then we could type in our little, story here. Emma is blah, 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 blah. Like that, right? Except that's really, really small. Have to be more like that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm giving you guys a lesson on text, on how to use the text tool, because this always bothers me. Every now and then, like, the text is way too small, even when you select like 120. I think it's a resolution thing. But then the other thing that happens is you'll go to hit enter, and then sometimes it just starts writing on top of its own. Here's how you fix that. You go right up to this little tool right here, click that, and then this is the spacing that's happening. Oh, here. This is the spacing that's happening. All you got to do is select auto, and then it will automatically create the proper spacing. I thought, maybe not. Auto. There we go. So blah 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 blah. Buttons, boutons, blah 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 blah. And we got that. Although there's something about this that I don't know. Maybe there's a better way to do this. I have seen some people like Jenny on the Zombie Hunters. The way that she does it is it's like parchment paper behind it. It's kind of like worn, like an old file type thing. And then it just has like a cut, like a slim cut of a shot of the character, like from the comic. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it that way or if I want to do like a full body shot. And I kind of want to do it this way because it shows a little bit, like you can get the gesture of the character, you can see how they're sitting or posing, and tells a lot more about their attitude and kind of who they are. And I think that's a little bit more engaging and fun for the audience. However, I don't want to bore them with like a big block of text. So I just want something kind of simple. I want something simple. Simple, simple, simple. What if it was just like slightly behind her? Oh, that's kind of cool. However, whatever's behind her head, you're not going to be able to read. I do kind of like that. There's something we could do with that. Maybe we can make it like a journal page. That would be pretty cool. What if it was like a journal page? That would be pretty sweet. Huh? You follow me? You follow me? Yeah, because this is just, I don't know. No, it's not this layout. I don't like it. I don't like the color. The color is just like blending in. It's just not, it's not doing it for me. Whereas this, it's like you see that shape. You see her silhouette. And it's so much more clear and nice. And we can also put a little gradient on this, and it should look pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put like a brighter color for our gradient here. Let's go ahead and put the gradient coming down like that. Hey! Might be a little bright. Let's make a new layer and do that. Okay. Let's lessen that a little bit. So that's pretty cool. It's not bad. However, the gradient should be coming from this way. It should be coming from that way, just to help reinforce the light. And then we can choose to put whatever type of parchment, thing behind her, whatever we want. And then another thing I want to do is I want to add the shadow beneath her. That's going to help kind of put her in the environment. It's going to put her there. It's going to sit her down. Alright, what are you guys saying over here? What are you guys saying over here? Ideally, what I'd like to do is, this is kind of like, might be giving a little bit too much away for what I planned, but because you guys are Ustream viewers, I'll tell you the secret that I want to do. I'd really like, because Lushy is saying over here, are you going to do it from Emma's point of view or just a general description? And what I'd really like to do is have like a journal page and then find somebody that has like a cute little girl's voice to like read the journal, and it could be like a thing that you click on and you can like hear her read the journal page. I think that'd be so fun and like cool and immersive, right? Because you can hear Emma's voice. But I need to find who would make a good Emma. Who knows? Maybe you. It may be you. We don't even know. I don't even know. So yes, to answer that question, Lushy, yes, I would like to have it ideally be from Emma's point of view, whether it's a journal page or whatever we decide to end up doing. I'd really like that. So I'm just going to really, really simply throw this shadow here and throw that shadow there. See what that does? That creates us some nice texture. Some nice texture. Okay. Good. Good. Make it a little bit darker underneath her little bottom there. Oh! Ah! Shoot! Okay. It's okay, we're good. Put a little bit more of that atmosphere back in there. Cool. Okay. So I'm, oh wait, no, I shouldn't paint that with gray. I should be painting that with, shoot, did I already paint with gray? No, I didn't. I should be erasing that just in case I decide to make the background a different color. Because if I paint with gray and then I put it on a dark background, it's going to look weird. Okay, so don't do that. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this mask. I'm going to make it darker. Because it doesn't affect anything. And I think I saw like some little weird little graphic glitches happening. I hate the little glitches that happen when you use the magic wand tool and like the little gray like half pixels that go along the line that aren't actually a color and they look really weird. I don't like that. I don't like it and I do not accept it. Not like it, I don't accept it. Okay. Cool. Everybody's like, I want to be Emma. I want to be Emma. I knew you guys would say that. I'm a boy. I still want to be Emma. I know little girl's voice. That's funny. Yeah, Annie's voice is not that kind of little girl's voice. It needs to be something a little bit more, because she's tough too, right? She can't be like the little kind of annoying innocent girl. She needs to have like that little bit of attitude to her. I don't know exactly what it is that I'm looking for, or I can describe it with words, but I can only know when I hear it and be like, that's it. That's Emma's voice, right? Although I have heard this girl, one of my friends, her name is Jess, and she has like, I'm not kidding you, one of like, she has like this, I don't want to say deep because it might make you think like, hey, what's up? But she has like a very like mature, beautiful, sexy, womanly voice, right? And I hear that, I'm like, that is totally Kate's voice. That is Kate's voice. And I was like, I know you don't do any voice acting, but like, I'm gonna make like a little journal thing or something. You're gonna read it, and you need to be Kate's voice. As far as Emma's voice, gotta find it. Jake should be Emma. Yes. Ah, boy. By the way, is the let's switch this over really quick. How much time we got? Oh, hey, it is time for the question catapults. Please cast your questions over the castle walls. I will catch them, care for them, and send them back to you on a bed of leaves. Until we do that, I'm going to go ahead and check my webcam settings because they're all messed up, making my lips look all weird, and autofocus is on. I don't know why this always happens, this stupid autofocus. And you know what bothers me is like it's kind of dusty in here sometimes. There's like cat hair on me, and it's like floating in front of the camera, and the camera like focuses in on it. It's like, oh, that's gross. I don't want to see that. I don't want people to see that. That's nasty. So, yeah, I apologize for any of you who had to see the nasty cat hair straying around the room. But we take care of business. Show is all about being personal. Doesn't get much more personal than that. You can even see the dust particles in my room. You can see the dust and the cat hair in my room. Can't get much better than that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate and flatten this group. Let's go ahead and play around with the brightness and contrast really quick. Let's play around with the brightness and contrast a little bit. That's not bad. It's good. Let's lower that saturation a tiny bit. Cool. And there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Finished artwork that is ready for the website. That makes us all so very happy. So very happy. Yay. Might make a couple more little adjustments here and there, but for now, I like it. For now, I like it. Alright, guys, let's check out what kinds of questions you're asking. Sultry. Yes, Jess has a sultry voice. Game of Thrones. Lushy is asking, Her boyfriend wants to know if I watch Game of Thrones. No, I do not watch Game of Thrones. My good friends do, though, and I think they have the first season on Blu-ray. So I do need to get in on that because I've heard from many people that it is a great series and that I should check it out. While I'm doing this, I'm going to nonchalantly open up the iTunes that I forgot to get earlier. All right. Get Some 92 is asking, will I be on Skype? Yes, after today I will do a Skype call. Will you end up doing the contest for voice acting? Aliom asking, I wonder what would happen if I did a contest for Emma as a voice actor. It might be kind of fun. That would be kind of cool. I'd say let's give it a shot. I'll get back to you on that. Like, I don't want to like be like, hey, let's do a contest. Like, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna write that down, and yeah, I'll talk with Jake about it and see if we can set something up. Because then you gotta have prizes. Obviously, prize can't just be, oh yeah, you get your voice, here. Even though that is pretty cool, but we'd want to be able to send you something too. So, and if you win and you do a really good job, you might open up a can of worms because we're going to probably want you for a lot of stuff. And you're going to be working for free because we don't have money yet. But you will secure your position. You will secure your position as the main character's voice actor, which is pretty dang cool. All right, next question. Ellis Qualls is asking a great question. He's talking about, what do you recommend for artists trying to develop their own style? Okay, this is cool, Ellis Qualls. Okay, so your style is basically, there's a unique tidbit, there's a unique flavor crystal that all artists are born with, and your job is to develop all of the fundamentals that everybody else does, but then you always hang on to that little like dash of seasoning that you throw in at the very end. And finding that can actually be very, very tough, right? But I think the easiest way that I found it was, I always had like a big like thing for anime, right? Growing up, I loved anime. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is so cool. Like, the animation is great, the chicks are hot, for being like little cartoon things. I was like, how can these be like attractive cartoons? I don't understand that. But I like liked it. I was like, this is cool that you can have like a cartoon that's beautiful and attractive, and the animation is cool, and the environments, and it's so immersive. So I was very, very much into that. So, but growing up, a lot of people told me, it was like, oh, people don't like anime. Professionals don't like anime. Nobody's going to hire you if you have an anime background. And in some ways, they might be right. Because a lot of the animation studios for anime and stuff like that are all out in Japan and, I don't know, China or wherever. But I think what anime taught me was a lot about, it's almost like comic art. When you're a comic book artist, you have to be ready to draw the human body in basically any contorted position imaginable from every angle possible. That's why drawing comics is so tough, especially good ones. I mean, you don't always have to do that, but I believe that really good comics really kind of have that awesome ability to draw anything from any angle and like create worlds. You create worlds and tell stories. I love that. But searching, that was a complete tangent. Let me get back to the question. Searching for your own style comes from within. Figure out what it is that you like, and no matter what people say about like, oh, people don't like that, there's no market for that, what are you drawing that for? That's lame. No matter what it is, if you like it, and if it's something that you're interested in, keep doing it, because you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people out there that may like the same stuff. And I think for me, a big part of it is little subtleties. Little subtleties can make you have your own style. Like, take a look at this. If you take a look at Emma, right? She's basically an anime girl, right? But what's different about it? It's incorporating like condensing shapes. This is like an American cartoon type thing, kind of like I don't want to say Samurai Jack, but there's a lot of American cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory and a lot of other things that have this kind of a style where they'll condense things into graphic shapes. Points on the shoulders, points here, there. You know, things are creating like shapes. They're exaggerated. And then you have like the usual anime eye, but the pupils are a little bit smaller, or the actual like iris and the eye. Usually it's like this big old like pool, you know, like this giant anime eye, but her eyes are a little bit smaller, right? And they don't have like the iris and then the little highlight that goes on it and then the pupil inside of it, like the really, really highly detailed anime eyes that sometimes exist. It's just a very, very simple kind of almost classic cartoon single colored eye. And again, but look at that. Just by adding those little subtleties, you've created a style that can be recognized by other people and be like, hey, that's Emma's style. Hey, that's Keenan's style. And hopefully that's what you guys would say if you saw something that looked like that. So that was a really good question, and I hope that answered it. I'm going to take 2 more, and then we're going to end today's show because we are going, woo, we are almost 10 minutes over. You guys are asking great questions today. And for those of you, I know there's a lot of questions coming in. I'm not going to be able to answer all of them. Please hang on to them for another time, and I will answer them, okay, if they're good. Okay. All right, 2 more questions here. Gel00 is asking, how tall are you? I wanted to know because many people who work on illustration get back problems or shorter. Work in illustration, get back problems or shorter. I'm assuming that you're saying people who are shorter that work in the illustration industry get back problems. I don't think that's like a height issue. I think it's a posture issue. And I was working with a lot of artists at Riot that had problems with their shoulders, problems with their backs, and I'll tell you what it is. This is one of the reasons why I decided to start working standing up. And a lot of people will say it was like, I don't want to become an artist so I could stand up work, and if I wanted to do that, I'd be bagging groceries, you know? But when you're sitting, I'll notice it's a lot easier for me to start doing this, right? I'll start drawing and I'll do this. And my back will go like this, right? And then I'll work like that. But try to stand up and then try to do that. Try to hunch forward, and you can't. It's like it's so much harder to do that. So when you're working standing up, you notice how your posture is like completely just fixed, right? So that's one of the reasons. I mean, you shouldn't stand up. I don't think you should stand up for 8 hours a day. I think maybe like 4, 4.5, maybe 5 hours, whatever is comfortable with you. And what you'll find is as you get into your artwork, you'll forget that you're standing. You'll be working for a few hours and be like, oh yeah, I was standing the whole time. And it's really, really good for your back, and I highly recommend that. All right, last question. Last question, and then we're ending. Okay. Okay. Is there one more question? Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess that was the last question. All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and end day 27 of the KNKL Emma stream. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys showing up to go to the live show. Please, YouTube viewers, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Kienan Lafferty, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.